What's up, everyone? It's the Time for Toku Podcast, back for another episode discussing Power Rangers Dino Fury. The new episode just released today, so we have a smaller cast of people to give all our thoughts and opinions on Lost Signal. Today with us, we have Mr. Awesome. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Are you feeling awesome today?
You know it.
We have Chelsea.
Hey y'all.
We have Deka.
AO is Daijin Deka.
And we have Criss.
As good as Criss, you know who it is.
And of course, I'm your host, Tenarakun. And I feel like we should just get started, How is everyone feeling about this new Dino Fury episode? Just
It's pretty good
thoughts.
so far.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
No problem.
Now let's go member by member. Criss, let's start with you. What are your overall thoughts on Lost Signal and
Overall thoughts? Not like the other past episodes where I rewatched it multiple times. I mainly I watched it and then I briefly rewatched it. I didn't have time to rewatch it again before this recording, but I don't know what else to say. I'm actually more impressed than anything. I'm lost for words. Not saying lost for words that it was an incredible episode. I'm lost for words because I really had no problems with that. And normally, when for our history of Power Rangers for the past 10 years, there's always things that we nitpick for it being Power Rangers or nitpick it for just television in general. But surprisingly, I'm really enjoying the season. And it's there's only one little thing I had a problem with, but it's it was too good to be true type of problem. But I feel like we'll later get into that and talk about that later in the video. So by all means, if you guys have anything else, it's basically, yeah, I loved it. And I got nothing to say for now.
All right. Deka, what were your overall thoughts on Lost Signal?
I overall think it was pretty good. What I liked about it is that they focused on all three characters, Zayto, Ollie, and Amelia. It didn't feel like one got more focus on than the other. Ollie and Amelia got a lot of screen time together, and Zayto, we got to learn a bit more about his backstory, and that was pretty great. I also like a unique fighting style. It's something I haven't really seen often in Power Rangers. Not that I'm saying that they haven't done this before, because I don't know, but the Rangers have to fight, Zayto at least has to fight blindfolded, and he has to use other senses to try and defeat the monster of the week.
Yeah, that's a genuinely good. That was a nice, different approach.
Oh yeah,
Chelsea?
one more thing. We got to see the
Go ahead.
Megazord for the first time, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the Dino Fury Megazord. Pretty good. Chelsea, how you doing? What are your thoughts on Lost Signal?
I thought it was a pretty okay episode, not as great as the first two. I think it's just because J-Borg took me out of it a little bit. But overall it was really good, and I was enjoying the continuation of Amelia and Ollie's snarky relationship.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They are really funny.
I think they might be foreshadowing something with that.
I'm
telling
hoping
y'all,
so. Don't
I
tease
hope
that
so.
and then just magically put her with Zayto. That would be stupid.
I was
Mm.
scared
Maybe
though.
be a
The first scene where she was comforting Zayto. I was scared. I was like, I was like, no.
I swear that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have this whole snarky relationship, and then she's gonna turn around and fall into Zayto's arms, and we're all gonna be like, "What?"
I hope not. I swear to God, if they let Amelia and Ollie become an actual thing, I'll be really, really happy. I as much as ding ding ding, Chelsea brought up the one problem I had with the episode being J-Borg. Even if they force Jayborg down our throats. If Ollie and Amelia is the thing, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be satisfied. I can die happy. You know what I mean? Because I
Right.
ship them. I ship them. They're really adorable together.
They're building their
Ship 'em like
chemistry
FedEx.
already.
Right. Mr. Awesome, what did you think about the episode?
I liked it pretty overall. I feel like since the last hype of the first two episodes, we're all about the slowly easing into these more average-like episodes. And the episode itself is pretty good. We got to see some of Zayto's backstory. I like that scene with his mother when he first became a knight and show off the little gem amulet. I don't remember if we saw it in the previous two episodes. Might have to rewatch that to find that out, but
No, I think it was hidden under clothing if it was in the episode at
I
all.
was thinking that.
yeah.
Well, then again, we've never seen Zayto in casual clothing until this episode because in the previous two, it was taking place on the same day. So he never changed out of his armor.
Yeah, which we got like a shopping scene with freaking Ollie and Amelia taking him to a mall or something. That would have
That
been
would
fun.
have been cool. That would have been cool.
Like they
Can't
did
wait
like
for
in
that scene.
like they did in Super Mega Force with Orion.
Or even just a hint of
Yeah.
Shelby shopping for Ivan.
Yeah. So overall, Lost Signal it wasn't as good as the previous two, but it was not a very big dip in quality. Like genuinely, the only thing that I had a problem with was I didn't feel like they overstayed the welcome, but Jane and Jayborg were they were odd to see just running around, I guess. Maybe it's because we didn't expect any sort of comedic duo character. And I don't know if they're actually going to be a comedic duo character where we're going to get this like every episode. I kind of hope not. I kind of hope if it is a comedic duo character thing, I kind of hope that this is just a once every couple episodes deal.
Yeah.
I could live with that.
Yeah, I could live with like a J-Borg segment like, every few episodes, but I can't deal with that every episode. That was about a minute of screen time.
Yeah, cause I can't be like fully negative about it, cause I wasn't really mad of them even like trying to be like a comedic duo. It was just like it just felt like a little like too long on my screen. You know what I mean? And then with the
That's
whole
fair.
J-Borg, like I tweeted about this. I was like, J-Borg, if we're gonna have a comedic duo, J-Borg and Jane, like by all means, I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Like Jane was cool. Like it felt a little like too long sometimes the parts, because you know that zones us out of the show sometimes. But it was like so weird to see how Jayborg's supposed to be an android, which was so very like serious character, just listens to commands, like no, like
Definitely given the fact it was from Mark's dad.
yeah,
Company.
yeah, and just randomly, Jayborg starts like being way too like annoyingly expressive, and it's like
Yeah, she
those
was a
characters.
lot.
Yeah, it was kind of getting annoying at times. Like it works sometimes, and when you think about the times it does work in Power Rangers, it's when it's a robot, not an android where you can see the facial expression. Because when Jayborg, out of nowhere, now apparently has human-like emotions, but like at an annoying kid show standpoint, and it was just so off-putting, and it was like that we've seen those before in Power Rangers, but those characters that are in those situations and positions are normally characters like that are fully robotic, fully suited, and not like human like. And it was just very off-putting to see like Jayborg like just freak out. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're an android. Why are you so like worried? And even if you are, it was so sudden because the episode before there was no
Hint.
like hints that this would be the type of character Jayborg was. Jayborg just seemed like a character that listened, and there would be sweet moments, but not like, oh my god, it's a sport, oh my god. And then I'm like, bro, you only said like a couple words the episode before, and now you're talking like you know what I mean?
Like you've always been there.
Yeah, and it was just so like off-putting. Like now we're like, oh well, now Jayborg's gonna be the comedic
Half of
you know
the
what I
comedic
mean?
duo.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
comedic
Yeah.
character. I didn't see that in the first 2 episodes, and it just feels like it was thrown in there. You know what I mean? Because we didn't
Yeah.
really have a comedic figure beforehand, but yeah, I guess we got one now, and it
I
took me out a
think
little.
I think that like maybe because not every episode is going to focus on anything Buzz Blast. Hopefully we don't see them too often. It's not that I disliked them. It's just that they were just a bit jarring for the episode, which relatively up to this point had a semi-serious tone to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we get this pure comedic tone, and it's just okay. This isn't exactly unwelcome. It's expected, but like, huh?
I was just hoping for a more serious take from her, like you said, to be suddenly serious and then just go into this. The facial expression she was making, the way she drew out words and just like had this whiny like I was like, why?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt more annoying than anything. Like, I feel like if they were gonna go that route, they should have made it a full-on robot. You know what I mean? I would have enjoyed that more than just like seeing an actor make dumb faces. You know what I mean? Like,
Or she didn't have to draw out the words. It was the way she spoke and the way she would have this weird whine to her screaming
yeah,
and freak.
exactly.
It was like, okay, you could have done that, but differently.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So let's
Okay.
see. Let's talk about Zayto.
Okay, yay.
Yeah, Zayto had a pretty damn good I want to say a pretty damn good moment in this episode.
Oh, that
Yeah.
moment.
Oh my god, that line, the delivery.
The raw delivery of "I'm about to crack something."
I was like,
Ooh.
oh yes.
Yeah. This is
That's
such
what
a
that's a badass red that I knew you could be.
His snark. It's everybody's snark. Like I cannot wait for them to add 2 more people to this very snarky bunch.
I know the cast are hyping it up on Twitter right now if you look at them.
Yeah. Deka, what do you think about Zayto?
I like him. He has a pretty good backstory, and I like how they built it up throughout this episode, and also how they built it up during the first episode. I like how they set up a relationship between him and his mother, with the whole like the wearing the necklace to remember her by. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah. That was another thing. I was shocked to see that they actually acknowledged his like home.
Like one of his parents.
Like as much as Andros, like we all love Andros, really I don't quite remember him like ever mentioning KO35 as a home, just where he grew up.
His sister. That's the only emotion we got out of it.
Yeah, that's the only time we've seen KO35 in Andros' past was when
And
he talked
I'm
about
also-
Corone getting kidnapped, and also when Zane when Zane got revealed.
I mean,
He's like, home is this spaceship, Hilto.
well, there were like 4 morphers on that ship, so there had to be another previous Space Ranger team. We don't know what happened to them. He never spoke about them.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
the comic series? We need a pre-comic series.
Do we really need a sequel to Time For about Jen and
Yes, we
Studio?
did.
Well, of course
I
we did.
very much. I don't know why everyone's shitting on Sins of the Future, but like, I thought it was an okay comic.
I don't know. I feel like it's
Okay.
more like you don't really want to know comic-wise where they're going because sometimes they take a story and they add a sequel and then you're like, I hate what you've done to the character that was already good.
Fair.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty much what.
Like what they do with the
Okay.
Psycho Rangers in the comics.
Do we really need a sequel focusing on the Psycho Rangers as character? Nobody asked for that. At least I didn't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, back to Rafkon. Like, it's interesting to see that the planet it's very cool in tone and like color tone. Very lots of cool colors in it.
Yeah, I like that because it's like y'all were saying, we haven't had the whole like home like ranger from another planet more like home in depth like depiction or like visual like visualization of where they came from this early in a season of Power Rangers. They like y'all said for Andrew's case, it was like in the middle of the season where they started talking about it more, and we're getting like a crap ton in the first episode, and I'm like, this ain't bad. Like this is not that bad. Like
I
this is something like I can appreciate. You know what I mean?
I kind of hope that we do get to learn more about Rafkon, but only as it pertains to Zayto's character growth. I like what this episode did, where
Yeah.
it not only gave us information about Zayto's life on Rafkon before the Sporix came, but also it helped him in the current, in the present, if you get what I mean. So
Yeah.
I like that balance that they stroke.
Yeah, because it was like the first 5 episodes. Yeah, for those who didn't watch the episode, but the beginning is just we get straight into it, seeing a nice like heartwarming moment where Zayto just reminiscing of his mother because of the pendant that he got, which a lot of people were freaking out about on Twitter, thinking it was a Dino Gem. No, I do not
Yeah,
think it's.
like what the that was not
The
a
Dino
Dino
Gem
Gem. It was too big.
Like,
It was
yeah.
too big to be either an Energem or a Dino Gem. Like, what the heck?
Hey, to be fair, we don't know if the Dino Gem were bigger or they were that size in the beginning. Sort of like an asteroid.
Well, we've only
When
ever
they
seen
hit
them that
Earth,
size,
they
haven't
get
we?
smaller because of the atmosphere.
Dude, Dino Gems on the main Earth or Energems would be, well, Dino Gems are on the main Earth, but Energems on the main Earth would be some trippy stuff because there is probably a whole other set of Energems out there since it's a different universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
also weren't yeah, well, that's true. Um, does that mean that in the Dino Charge universe that Sledge just randomly had an asteroid that happened to have the Dino Gems?
I mean,
I
if
think
we
so. Yeah.
if we assume this scene takes place in the main universe, that means the Dino Rangers already exist in some way.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, but yeah, just yeah, the Zayto had a very strong character this episode. I didn't feel like they messed him up in any way. I thought it was just a solid focus episode for him. But let's go into our thoughts for Ollie on this episode. I think a couple people have some words to say. So let's start off with Deka.
Uh, I loved Ollie during this episode. Like when he made up that thing about him and Amelia dating. Like that was funny in my opinion because he like just made that up on the spot and along with that nickname, and he had a whole bunch of snark throughout that episode. Amelia too. He was pretty good. Oh yeah, I also liked how he wanted to resort to like reason and science before going to like the whole psychic thing.
Yeah, just keeping his character throughout, because the first episode, that's how Amelia and Ollie met. It was based on the hell are you doing? This is fake, blah blah blah. It's like from like what's not real and what's real and science and magic and ghosts and stuff. You know what I mean? It's cool that they're
Yeah.
keeping things along character wise.
Yeah. Let's see. Chelsea, what did you think of Ollie in this episode?
It was definitely the snark for me. I know a lot of people are like, wow, he's being a dick or this guy needs boundaries, but he was just so snarky. I couldn't even be mad about it because he wasn't wrong per se when it came to the psychic. She was just telling Zayto false hope, and Ollie had to fix that. He felt bad, and he felt bad when his idea didn't work out either. So
Yeah, I kind of like that this episode didn't make either one like work out in the end, and it showed the fault, like the flaws of both.
And that, Zayto still came out of that pretty strong. He was like, okay, so it didn't work out, but that doesn't mean I should give up hope, and that doesn't mean I should just curl up in a ball and waste away.
Yeah, he only did that after he got his ass kicked.
Can we talk about the scene?
Let's see.
Can we talk about the
let's.
scene?
Hold on. Let Chris talk.
Can we talk about the
Yeah, go
scene
ahead.
where while Amelia is like giving Zayto the whole thing about, oh, I know this psychic, blah blah blah, that can probably help, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
mad at Indigo.
it's mad
We
funny,
got her-
right? And she's like, and then Zayto's like, do you really think the psychic can help me? Amelia's about to say yes. I was like, no. It was like a little like cute little moment. He's like, don't listen to her. She's cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of funny. Like, I love
Right.
the relationships in this show already, bro.
I'm anticipating so many of their, because I always knew when they said he was going to be the serious, everything can be proven by science, and that she's into the supernatural. I said, oh, they're going to clash hardcore. And that they have
Yeah.
this snarky relationship where she was like, he was like, where do you think you can find $15? And she said, oh, I'll get the money. Ollie, can I have $15?
Yeah,
I
bro.
love that moment. That was great.
That
They're
was
just intense
hilarious.
each other, and I love
Exactly.
it.
Let's see. Mr. Awesome, what did you think of Ollie in this episode?
Okay, if I mentioned in the chat earlier, I had the opposite problem with you guys. Guy focused on his darkness, then his dickishness. I immediately noted his dickishness when it took center stage for me.
Yeah.
Okay, first he always, this is Amelia. I get it. It's in character. I have no issue with that, but it also he doesn't really try to give Zayto the benefit of the doubt. Like, dude, you just met. He's an alien from another world who's been on this planet, who's been asleep for 6 million years.
65 million.
65 million years. Almost everyone he knew is dead. None of his friends, possibly his family too. And he got this signal that could be a message for him. And when Amelia tried to bring up the idea of the psychic, and I get it, it's an Ollie character to deny anything paranormal. But keep in mind, his leader, he's a Power Ranger that's being led by a Red Ranger who is an alien from outer space who fought alongside dinosaurs. Now, if that's not paranormal, I don't know what is.
I mean,
Well,
this is
let's
Power
also be
Rangers.
honest,
There's Power Rangers
That's not
norms. to this.
exactly paranormal, as in something inherently
Correct.
spiritual,
No, there's a difference.
like psychics or ghosts. That could be explained with some form of science, morphin science. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's proven that psychics, there's a lot of frauds in psychic.
Yeah.
Because it's already proven, like, there's a lot of, like, no offense to the psychics out there, but, like, it's already proven that there's, like, some sort of fraud in groups of, like, a lot of people who claim to be psychics, so it makes sense that Ollie would have that idea, because no, it's not even just that, because when you brought up the point, well, you have Zayto in front of you who's from another planet, blah blah blah, and this is the Power Universe. Well, that's because he's seen it, and that's because, like he said, he's on the news. He sees what's real. He sees that this is in their universe. This is realistic. Who knows? It could be even realistic in our universe that there are actually, like, Power Rangers, because there could be other beings and other planets. Because if we're on a planet, we're beings. You know what I mean? Because it's not like,
how many different aliens do we have that Power Rangers are from? We have like Taizon, all the KO-35 people, the Aquatar Rangers. There's a bunch of different alien Rangers.
Don't forget about that Raw with Face from A Squad.
Oh, that's fair. That's in
Well,
the
they had
future.
aliens
That's
all over
purely
the planet.
sci-fi. That's
That was
purely
April.
sci-fi.
But
yeah, no, it just yeah, Ollie. I felt like Ollie wasn't too bad this episode. I felt
Yeah.
like he was a bit harsh, but like he had a very valid point.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about when Zayto delivered that message at the end of the episode?
Yeah, I felt like the delivery was okay on that.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was a nice ending to the episode. I didn't think anything else of it.
I think that might backfire.
Maybe this is foreshadowing for some sort of like Gold Ranger or something. Maybe it's like a survivor from Rafkon or something. I don't know.
I'm
You know what?
guessing.
It's possible.
I'm guessing is a crazy white hair a galaxy from a galaxy that is named after an animal.
That's very fair. That's very fair. This could lead to Mick. Um, we don't know. We'll have to wait. We'll have to just see how this goes. But let's talk about Amelia, which is our final ranger to talk about. I thought Amelia was. I felt like in the beginning is when she just truly peaked for the episode. Uh, she has this curious nature to her that lent her to reaching out to Zayto. It's it it didn't I don't think it reminds me of any other Pink Ranger where they have that curious also they have the
Maybe
curiousness that also leads to empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Shelby did it with Tyler, I'd say.
Maybe
That's fair.
I'm not. He can do it with Maya, but I could be remembering that wrong.
With who?
Hendrik from Lost Galaxy.
Yeah, I almost thought Kendrick's, but I think Kendrick's was just slightly different in that she just naturally has an empathetic heart. I didn't
Yeah.
think there was a curious nature to her though.
It was
Yeah.
definitely Shelby was definitely like.
I mean, to that Kendrick's standpoint, there are some points where we're like, oh, we think Kendrick's like so and so, right? It's kind of like how we thought in the beginning of this episode. Oh, Kendrick, not Kendrick. Amelia might like Zayto. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things like you can't really. It's not that you can't tell. It's just like it's one of those things like for what reasons are you so curious? You know what I mean? Like, are you into this person or do you genuinely just want to make sure this person's all right? You know what I mean? Like, you know
I
what I
think
mean?
it was more of the latter personally. I don't think that she's romantically interested in Zayto yet. Maybe she'll become in later in the season.
Yeah, I'm just saying that
in
there's
season
potential for them to do
I don't
that.
know.
I was kind of thinking
in season two.
that maybe she was a little bit in denial about how she felt about Ollie because while she was, surprised that the psychic got proven wrong, there was still this like tilt in her voice where she was like, "Us in love? No." And I was like, "Mm-hmm."
Given her personality,
Ollie
it
was
would-
a firm denier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all. I don't know what. I feel like Ollie's gonna surprisingly be the one to like if this does ever become a thing, he's gonna be the one to like confess first because you always know about he's very bold and you always know about these love relationship in TV shows. The one who bullies the most is always the one who confesses their love first, so it makes sense. You know what I mean? So if that does ever become a thing, because even if they are joking and making fun of each other, and like, because it's low key flirting in my opinion. By whatever you mean, you know what I mean? It's like when you see two people like arguing like a married couple, and you're like, y'all fight like a married couple. You're like, ew, gross, and then they end up being the couple of the show. So it's like. You know what I mean? Like I really love that relationship, and it's crazy. Like this is an episode about Zayto, reminiscent about his homeland and his mother, and how dependent it involves his communication towards a possible like callback from his homeland. But Ollie and Amelia find a way to like make them like the highlight of the episode of just them play flirting and shit, and it was funny as hell. I love it. I love every part of it. So
Yeah. Let's see, Deka, what did you think of Amelia in this episode?
I think she was pretty good. I like how she contrasted from Ollie in that while Ollie seemed to like believe in science and look at things from a realistic point, she believed in the supernatural, which is why she was so willing to help Zayto and why she warmed up to him. Yeah, I also like that mode where she's woman with the whole $15 thing. That was pretty funny. Yeah, that's really all I have to say.
All right, Chris, what did you think about Amelia in the episode?
one thing that I'm noticing now is that when Ollie was discouraging the fact that the psychic would help, Amelia was still like positive about it. She was like, "Well, I'm gonna convince y'all that we still might at least go for it." And then no point with the $15. And even when she was proven wrong, she still
wasn't like make it like, because in Power Rangers, like they make it a moment, oh you're like how Ollie did in his episode where he messed up. Now he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. And Amelia was like, well, this is a fluke, you know what I mean? Like I still got hope in my character that I still believe in this stuff. And it's like I feel like I like that, because it's like I hate when characters like just they get discouraged over one like step back, that they just complete like changes their character and like their traits of like for her case of like believing in like the supernatural stuff. And it's like I mean I just like that, the little things, you know what I mean? There's not much to say, but I just like how positive Amelia is about her passion with supernatural things. Even if Ollie is kind of being a dick about it, she's still like hopeful and she can still like joke with Ollie and like be snarky back to him. So it's I like how it goes back to that dynamic. I just love every part that they both played in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be like the team optimist.
I'm going to mention something real quick. I love that they didn't do that, because it would have been completely out of character for Amelia to do that. And we know this because in episode 1, she mentions that she has encountered Warden Garcia 17 times for ghost hunting in the park. So why would this one fluke set her back when she's done this 17 times?
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. Because it's like sometimes when you watch a show like Power Rangers, I love my Power Rangers, but sometimes you just gotta sit there. It's like, if this happened, why did this? And if that, this isn't adding up. And then you just go, well, it's Power Rangers. You just gotta keep watching. But hasn't been anything.
I feel like that's just a sign of lazy writing.
Yeah.
If they did that, but they didn't, which like leads you to believe that this whole team is just
gonna be
golden for
the
like
entire
they
show,
know
yeah.
their characters. They
Yeah.
know how to write their characters. Awesome. Do you have any thing to say about Chelsea? Or not Chelsea. Chelsea and Awesome. Hey, do you have anything to say about Amelia?
I noticed something funny. I couldn't help but quip every time they made a line where I was like, oh my god, that's awesome, that's savage. With Amelia, when she got into the Megazord and she was like, Ollie, we have to take a selfie. And the first thing I thought was, wait, but first, let me take a selfie. I was like, she literally
no!
Do not bring that back.
That's what happened. She quoted the selfie song. Because that was her first thought was, okay, we'll fight the monster in a second, but hey, selfie.
Oh,
What a moment.
Can we talk about that awesome morph between Soli, Ollie, and Amelia, where they turned around, like had their backs facing the Sporg? That was a badass scene. Their morph was pretty
all
badass.
that practice was friggin' worth it. They did that.
Yeah, that was pretty
badass.
cool.
Like, I know Zayto's moment was badass, but that moment was all types of badass. You know what I mean?
Had all sorts of, definitely. I mean, it's funny too, in the Megazord, the first person she called out was, oh my god, Ollie. See, I'm telling you, there's something going on there where they're antagonizing each other, but they're also the first person they think to, tease or jab or joke with.
I mean, I feel like they're like gonna be very close throughout the season, regardless, because technically they are the first two new Rangers, because they don't really have much to relate to Zayto with, because Zayto's so new to everything, and he's already been a Ranger. And there's nothing really new for him in the situation other than having new members and in the world. But like as a team and about how the Power Rangers works, it's not really new for him. And we haven't had any like, I mean, I know the next two Rangers are gonna come pretty soon, but it's like, but it's like they haven't really had anybody else to relate to of being in this new situation. So I feel like they're gonna be pretty solid duo together throughout the entire show, because until the other two come in, they're gonna be like, if not in a relationship, they're gonna be like sort of best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that idea too of Red Ranger as mentor as opposed to Red Ranger being just as green as everybody else.
Yeah.
So like we had that with Andros kind of, because he was an experienced Ranger. We had it with Jaden. We had it with Zayto now. And it's always much cooler dynamic because they can keep a level head and they're like, I got this, guys. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
While
yeah,
still
that's pretty cool. But Chelsea, quick correction. They didn't do that with Jaden because they had a mentor, G.
Yeah, but Jaden got to stand by and train them just as much as G did. He taught them how to control their powers, how to fight, gave direction in fights. He was always teaching Mike something new, and Mike was striving to level up to Jaden. I think Jaden was more of a mentor than Mentor was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember Mentor
It
doing
kind
any
of makes you
mentor
wonder
shit.
why Mentor G existed.
Exactly.
Like Jaden didn't need him.
He felt like this supervisor more than anything else. I don't feel like he was necessarily a mentor. I think he just owned the house. Like, you know what I mean? He's just making sure y'all are not breaking shit.
I think, was it even his house? It was Jaden's house. Like, get out of my house, Mentor.
I do have one thing to know. Someone mentioned this on Twitter too, but like, I love that Zayto was just fully in control whenever, like, especially during the Megazord sequence, but he was just fully in control whenever they were fighting together.
Yeah, he's a veteran. That's what maybe.
You know, we forgot to mention his badass blindfold fight. I liked the comparison someone on Twitter made to Daredevil that he tuned into.
It was like a big Twitter account too.
Even Zayto's actor was like, "Whoa, I did do that," and he was like, he even responded to that.
The Red House.
Yeah. It just that's just one thing, and then there was another thing. There's just one thing that I noticed. Ollie seems to be the one to adapt to fighting under abnormal circumstances first. Because for one, he was obviously the one who immediately said, "Hey, by the way, it's her eyes. Don't look at her eyes." But also, he was the one that was most comfortably fighting her.
I think.
Well, Amelia was over there struggling, and Zayto had already been struck down. But Ollie, I didn't see Ollie having any real trouble adapting to fighting blind.
I think he must have been watching a lot of Power Ranger broadcasts, studying some fighting styles there.
Yeah, like
he did take thing for 6 years, so that must have something to do with it.
Yeah, it's got to be his training.
And also, he's also an archaeologist, so he must be used to some kind of stressful situations.
I mean, he was the one that went out of his way, and he was like, "Guys, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. My mom can do this. If I see a chance to like do something on my own that still benefits the team, I'm gonna go for it. I'll take that leadership role, even if I'm told not to." I feel like it makes sense for Ollie to be ready no matter the situation. You know what I mean? Because like how even if he's not fully is ready, like how we saw in the last episode where he kind of messed up with the whole drone situation.
Scanner.
Yeah, the scanner situation. It was still out of like good intent, and he just has that character trait of always being ready to put up that leadership role when he ever has that chance, if it means benefiting the team overall.
Zayto knows, and he doesn't berate them for it. He just talks to him. You know, that's a sign of a good leader as well.
Yeah. Calm, cool, and collected.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zayto admires the efforts. He's still working on pointing them in that right direction, and I think that's great. I feel like Ollie's character is going to go from this like new ranger to being the semi right hand man of Zayto.
Definitely.
So like Adam of the season,
kind of like
if Zayto's ever out of commission, I think the others will start looking to Ollie to start filling in that leader position.
So kind of like Wes, how Wes isn't even the leader, but like when it's time. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I like how
also
Zayto...
kind of like Sky in a way, where like it's that Blue Ranger becoming the right hand man to the Red Ranger, and then when the time comes, he'll take on a leadership role.
Yeah. Whenever the Red's not available or chooses not to take control.
Yeah.
I just like how Zayto, back to the whole Zayto just admiring his fellow comrades. Just when Amelia was mentioning that there was a hope, Zayto was like, "Really? There's a psychic?" And even when Ollie was like, "Don't listen to her, she's crazy. This is a fraud." Blah 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 blah. when it was proven that it was a fraud after they did that whole like entanglement of Amelia and Ollie pretending to be a couple and proving to point that it was a fraud. And Zayto was still like hopeful that that maybe the other using the science route still had a chance. He wasn't mad at the Rangers. He wasn't mad at Amelia when she was proven wrong. She wasn't mad at Ollie when proven wrong. He was just like, so be it. If I can't speak to my home planet, then until another day. He wasn't too negative about it. He didn't put it all on his teammates, and I like that. I like that he's like, I'm still the leader. I still got a place to protect at least. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Gonna bring his personal issues too much on the surface.
He made that situation funnier too, that whole dating thing when he was like, I didn't know you guys were together.
Genuinely laughed. He's like, you two were in love? I didn't know that. I love that, like...
Yeah.
He was like, good for you guys.
He's like, He's like, why would you say that? The fact that he even knew that Honey Muffin was an affectionate nickname, I swear.
I mean, it sounds adorable just saying that shit out loud.
I feel like Zayto's gonna be Ollie. It gotta be one of those two, the wingman. I just know it. It'll be a good wingman.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see more of that dynamic between them. But yeah, like overall, I thought this episode was pretty good, and I didn't have much problems with it.
Yeah, exactly. It was other than the whole J-Borg thing, and like, cause thinking about it now, like with it was just J-Borg that had me like kind of zoned out. Like I didn't really have any problems other than that. Everything else was pretty good.
Jane had that like over enthusiastic acting that like she makes content directed at all ages and specifically kind of at kids. Because I feel like they did a little bit of research because that's exactly how most kids content creators on like YouTube and other platforms, that's pretty much exactly how they act.
Sometimes, yeah. I can speak from experience.
It was adult JoJo Siwa.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, it was.
Wait, why?
Like,
oh god.
She was acting perfectly. Honestly, it was just J-Borg that I had a problem with at all. And even then, it wasn't that big of a problem.
This J-Borg seemed to be a problem. I didn't find it to be a problem, hopefully, but not what everyone else's consensus is.
No, it's not. You don't.
You finish?
If you didn't find J-Borg problematic and you liked her, all the more power to you. I was a little put off by how much she was emoting, but it was overall fine. She didn't overstay her welcome, which is fantastic. Because I felt like Ben and Betty's sketches went on for fucking ever.
Oh yeah.
So did Victor and Monty's. They were just so long, and you were like, why?
I'm like, can I please skip this part of the episode?
Like, listen, if they were gonna do, like, what I'm thinking of, what they were trying to do, because there's no way that they were just gonna be like, now J-Borg is all of a sudden this so cartoonish character. Like, if they were gonna make it seem like, okay, J-Borg is serious, unless a Sporix appears and then the character in the cartoon jumps out of it. But there was like no hint to that the episode beforehand, so it was like, what the hell? This is so weird and it's getting annoying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they should have thought that out a little bit more. Other than that, I would have been more okay with if they thought it out. But other than that, that was like the only issue I had with the episode.
I think J-Borg should have just been a bit more reserved in the comedic segments. You know, going along with Jane, and Jane should have been the main focus of comedy.
Exactly. Due to the fact that it's an android, you know what I mean?
Yeah, comedy is not the androids.
Mac knows that.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, it's just not. It's not. I was trying to like justify it, but yeah, hell no, it's really not most of the time.
Yeah, Deka, what are your like finishing thoughts on this episode?
Overall, it's pretty good. It had its laughs. It had something that made it unique. Overall, was pretty good. I like it.
And I kind of wanted to mention another thing. Mucus wasn't like that bad this episode. I was cautiously like I was in that like caution state where I was like, oh god, please don't be annoying. Please don't be overly annoying. But no, Mucus just kind of showed up because they needed a reason to tie back into the previous two with the Sporix.
Yeah, Mucus was
Well,
like,
the fact that Mucus is now in command.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
she is now.
Mucus saw the Rangers. Like, Mucus was about to, like, in Mucus's mind, Mucus was about to F shit up. And then once he saw the Rangers, oh crap, the Rangers, I'm out of here. He turned around and ran away. Like, that was pretty funny.
Considering Mucus tried to fight the Rangers before and immediately got destroyed, yeah, I can see why.
Oh yeah, one thing I noticed, I think Mucus might be like a henchman or a right-hand man to Void Knight, similar to what Octoroo was to Master Xandred, or Broodwing was to Emperor Grom.
I mean, being the
There was
fact
also no footman. There was also no henchman this episode.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice.
Maybe
That's
it's because
kinda cool.
that they didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because Vypeera didn't align with Void Knight quick enough for her to access henchman.
I don't know. I like that though because it meant no distracted, pointless fight scene with henchmen while somebody goes and fights the monster like they did like every episode of any other season. You're like, it's the same battle every time. But this one was different because they got straight to it.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting, like from a lore standpoint. Like, okay, so it takes time for the Sporix beasts to actually align themselves with Void Knight, and then they can get access to henchmen.
About Void Knight, I don't think we really saw much of Void Knight this episode, did we?
No,
we only saw him at the end trying to collect the Sporix.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool that they actually, because I thought he was gonna collect them and it was gonna be a thing that the Rangers didn't know that he was collecting them for a purpose, because they were like, the Rangers were like, we're not letting you pick this up. We don't know what you're doing with these, but we know something's off. We're taking this back. Like, I like that.
Bye.
And also, it is kind of their goal to collect the Sporix beasts back. So it makes sense for them to immediately go looking for it after it's defeated.
Yeah.
So like overall, does anybody else have any other finishing thoughts?
I like how the bootleg Emergem, sorry. Like the bootleg Energen like came back around, and it was like the missing piece. Well, it was not the missing piece. It helped replicate the broken chip that was the tool to access the messaging from outer space. Like, I like how, like, it goes back to what Zayto's mother said, was just keeping hope and blah blah blah, and that it meant so much to him that it was convenient to him, and it kind of like saved their butt, because they were like, we might not have any like communication with your homeland like a chance ever again, you know what I mean? But since your mother like gave you this gem, like, here you go, like, this saved us, you know what I mean?
I kind of liked that the message wasn't anything they could understand, because even Solon couldn't understand that language.
Mm-hmm.
And also as someone who's personally tried to learn French, I appreciated the French comments.
Yeah, except for French.
You should have taken Spanish.
Oh, can we speak about how Power Rangers, once again, the season's already showing that they have common sense for the viewers, that when Solon didn't get hypnotized, they explain, that's because I don't have human eyes. That's because I'm a robot. I don't have real eyes. Like, I'm glad they explained that, because Solon was staring at that fucking screen. I would have been like, hello? But Solon was like, that's not gonna work for me. I don't have human eyes.
And I kind of love that she, like, once she figured out exactly what it was doing, she immediately turned it off.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'm turning this off.
Yeah. I guess being part cyborg is good after all.
Yeah. So closing thoughts. We all thought that this episode wasn't probably, I personally think it was just not, it was just a smallest dip in quality from the previous two, but it's not that much that it deters me off of hope for this season.
Yeah, I like this episode. There's not, like, there's not there's not a moment that I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. This is the same Power Rangers that we've been getting for the past 10 years. I lost my hope. Other than the fact that J-Borg was just randomly annoying for no reason, and it put me off a little bit. But I went back into it because, oh yeah, I forgot. There's these characters I already love so much, and with the story that I already love so much. You know what I mean? Like yeah, that J-Borg thing like put a lot of the people at home off a little bit because they're like, oh god, and like I thought we were done with this, but it was like that didn't like come to the extent of like, oh, this ruined the season. It was just okay, and it was like it's okay because you can't expect as much as we love that Power Rangers will get to that chance, but we can't expect from like any show that every single episode is gonna be a banger. You know what I mean? These last two were bangers. This episode's good too, I still feel the same way I did last couple of weeks. This season's gonna be pretty good if they keep continuing this way. All I hope for right now is that Ollie and Amelia relationship. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be like ooh, or like I want that little Void Knight and Mucus like relationship like to go up to.
I
Like
want
although
to
we
see
didn't get
more
it.
of their dynamic.
Yeah, I love it.
I want to see the Power Rangers version of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. That being said, solid episode. Not as good as the last few, but not to the extent that it wasn't good. It was a good episode. And
Right, Daka, what are your overall thoughts?
It was pretty good. I like it, and I hope they build up more stuff from. I hope and like what Chris said, I hope they build up the relationship between Void Knight and Mucus.
Chelsea?
Yeah, it was a good episode. I appreciated that they did the mannequin challenge, and I
Awesome.
just appreciate the relationships between the Rangers. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, and they don't always automatically just get along and go along with everything. They have questions, they have doubts, insecurities, but then they trust each other.
Yeah, that's another good thing. I feel like with this team so far, you can feel the bond between them already. Like you can feel that inherent trust.
Right.
Just waiting for the Garcias show up.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued.
I want to see how this team dynamic gets shaken up because now I think we've thoroughly established in 3 episodes exactly what we should expect out of this dynamic, and now I kind of can't wait for that 2 other members to shake things up.
Yeah, we only got like 1 episode before they show up.
They show up in the
next episode promises new recruits, so maybe we get them. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to get their Ranger forms yet. I think we'll have to wait until episode 5 to see their Ranger forms. But I feel like I feel like next week they're just going to introduce themselves.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that they don't introduce both of them at the same time. You know what I mean?
I
wouldn't say to the team. I think that next episode, what I'm going to predict the next
Guys,
episode
I'm
is-
predicting something. Listen, wait, 10, can you hold that thought before
fine.
mine?
Go ahead.
I'm predicting is, you know how you're already simping for, what's his name? Black Ranger.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Javi.
Javi, right?
I was thinking
What
of
I'm
the actor.
predicting, like, even if it's only one of them pops up the first episode, what I'm predicting, Javier pops up, Amelia looks at him, and he's like, oh my god, he's hot. Ollie gets jealous. Holy shit, imagine! Oh, shit!
I was thinking the same thing. What's coming to
shit.
jealous?
Oh yeah, something else I noticed is that before Void Knight can get one of the Sporix, the Rangers pick it up and take it back to the lab. I wonder if that's building up something where like the Sporix will like join them and like help them out during certain things.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I doubt that because, they kind of were the reason the Sporix were recaptured. But,
Also,
Um,
props for them to fight the
I'm-
freaking giant monster without getting to the Zord first.
yeah. Here's my prediction for new recruits. We're just going to get introduced to both siblings. But during the episode, they're going to find out about the fact that they're Rangers.
I'm expecting a throwaway line from like Officer Garcia where he's like, "Don't talk to that Amelia chick. I can't stand her," or something. And then they
Yeah.
bond with her.
Wait, can we like
Yeah.
I'm actually not I wouldn't even be surprised if they find out they're Rangers, cuz mind you, this episode, not even 2 seconds later after Civilian walked away from them, they just teleported. I'm like, are y'all doing a good job of hiding that you're Rangers? Like cuz when they were at the lab, the scientists turned around. The moment they turned around, they just teleport. And I was like, hello? Like security cameras, hello?
Yeah, maybe they were just saying things.
Yeah. Are they supposed to
but
be Secret Rangers or what?
Yeah.
apparently they are, because Zayto is like, nobody can know you're a Power Ranger, and I don't get why. You have to kind of explain why you can't explain that you're a Power Ranger. Like, okay.
I mean, they probably will.
It made sense in Mighty Morphin because Zordon said if you get revealed, your powers won't work anymore. Like, that's a serious stake for not letting people know you're a Ranger.
Wait, that was actually a thing?
Yeah, he said at the end of Day of the Dumpster, no one can know you're a Power Ranger, or else the power will like stop protecting you.
I think he was just lying. I think he was just.
Yeah, because like I think he was lying too, because Rocky, Aisha, and Adam all found out they were Rangers, and none of their powers stopped working.
I mean, I think Alpha's advice. I think Alpha's
Time Force. Don't forget, those two exist.
Yeah,
that's true. Time Force Time Force had another good reason for them keeping their identities a secret.
Yeah, they were time travelers. SPD.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't need to hide it. They were.
SPD were public figures.
Yeah, Lightspeed Rescue
and Lightspeed Rescue too.
Yeah,
Lightspeed Rescue too.
I mean, I think Alpha. Zordon listened to Alpha's advice. Alpha was like, "Oh my God, are you seriously about to get teenagers?" Zordon had to think. He was like, "Oh yeah, they're not gonna listen to me when I tell them not to reveal that the Rangers. They'll probably want to like profit off that. Yep, your powers aren't gonna work if you tell people just to make sure. Yeah, you know what I mean. And about like
90, I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm hoping they will explain, because it's like we know from a viewer standpoint that the whole that Zayto wants them not to reveal themselves, although they're doing a poor job at it. I hope if they do talk about more and get into that whole situation, it'll probably be if Ten's theory is right, that they do find out that they're Rangers, that will be the moment where Zayto's like, you see what I meant, guys? Now they know that you're Rangers. What are we gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, if that does happen.
I think it was more of, I don't want civilians like trying to interfere. I feel like that's happened before. I feel like we're gonna get some sort of backstory where like there's a reason he doesn't want to reveal their identities, and it's gonna be the story about like the one time someone found out he was a knight, they like sacrificed themselves because he was gonna take a fatal blow from a Sporix or something.
Well, too, we haven't considered that they might already have their powers, because those are lost powers, you know?
Oh,
yeah, they're missing gold, black, and well, who knows what else.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally, Zayto said, as far as I know, we're the only Rangers that are gonna exist.
Right, and as far as like, we don't even know, the next episode could not have any of the first three at all. Like, it could be about these two finding their powers, and maybe a little segue to what the other three are up to. I mean, we don't know anything about how this is gonna go. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. It's this, I feel like it's going to be this thing where, like, I don't think that they're going to get their powers all, or if they're going to get their powers, it's going to be like the end of the episode. I feel like this episode's going to just focus on introducing the Garcia siblings, establishing their dynamic, and then, like, have them befriend one or two of the Rangers, and then they're going to see the Rangers, like, morph or something. And towards the end of the episode, the Sporix is going to decapitate. That's a really poor word choice. Handicap the Rangers in some way where, like, they can't fight. And so it's going to be up to, like, Izzy and Javi to, get their powers or something, or find a way to help. And then Zayto's either going to be mad or he's going to be impressed. Maybe Zayto gets introduced to them and he initially dislikes them, probably because of maybe our lighter attitude towards the whole Sporix thing.
I feel like Jobby might be the cause of that.
Yeah, Javi might be the cause of
they
that.
get their powers is going to be the question, because where the heck are these powers at?
Yeah.
That's very fair. I don't know because we don't have any hints. I feel like maybe next time we're gonna get it. I'd be surprised how the season is going because the season's kind of taking its time.
Yeah.
It's not rushing any. I don't feel like it's rushing anything. Like, yeah, we get introduced to something new every episode, but like also there's only been 3 It's not like Saber where we get introduced to like 2 or 3 different things every episode. It's just like, yes, I am going to I'm going to fire shots at Saber. Whenever I can, because I was mad. But I feel like it's gonna be what? Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's different too, and what makes it not feel rushed is because they don't have some like world-ending event thrown on them from day one. You know, it's like, okay, get the Sporix, collect the Sporix before Void Knight does, but it's not like it's not like Sledge is coming to get the Energems. Sledge is the big threat. You know, it's not like Master Xandred is gonna flood the entire Earth or the alien invaders are coming. It's just kind of casual.
Yeah.
Take them down.
Of course, this could end up being a whole big event, but like, not yet. It's building up.
Yeah, they gotta cast them all. Yeah, I fucking said it. I'm gonna say it every time chance I get. They gotta cast them all. They gotta cast them all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The monsters come when the monsters come, but there's no like urgency until the monster hatches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we see that there's genuinely a good amount of time between each Sporix hatching. So, like, yeah, honestly, I'm honestly very impressed with Dino Fury so far. I'd be surprised if they rush the introduction of the Green and Black Ranger and they just have him immediately join the team. I feel like what's gonna happen is if they do get their powers, which I don't think is gonna happen, but if they do get their powers in episode 4, it's gonna be a thing where like it's gonna be like Kishiryu Red and Black, Green and Black, where like they don't immediately join the team; they're just kind of there, doing their thing.
Yeah.
Green and Blacks really have some special relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special color combo that we don't always get, but I wish we had way more of.
Yeah, like honestly, ever since RPM, we've been getting treated to some nice green black dynamics.
I would argue it didn't start with RPM. It was started with Mighty Morphing when Tommy, I think he gave Zack the Dragon Shield.
I feel like Tommy and Zack didn't really have as much interaction. If anything, it would have been Tommy and Adam, but Tommy wasn't green when Adam came, so.
Yeah, I don't really think
here's a better one. Adam and Adam and Carlo.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's a better example.
I don't think that's on par with Ziggy and
Dylan or Riley and Chase.
I think it was just more.
I'm not saying relationship wise is better. I'm just.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like Tommy and Adam was just like I guess I'll mentor you for the time being. Just gotta be up for it, because I know you still have what it takes to be a ranger. Blah 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 blah. While Ziggy and Dylan was like, bro, I gotta drag you around, sure, and then I got used to you.
They're bros. They're bros.
Yeah.
They have a bond.
Well, hopefully this new Green and Black have, because they're siblings, and from what we know from the readings is that they're probably gonna butt heads a little bit, which is exciting to see.
So, and not gonna be an easy relationship, but it's gonna be a fun one. I know it.
Hell yeah!
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, today we talked about our thoughts on the 3rd episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury, named Lost Signal. Thank you for listening to the Time For Toku podcast. If we have our farewells, let's start with Criss.
Well, thanks for listening to our talk about the 3rd episode. It's been real. It's been nice. or you can follow me on Twitter at Criss26 DUES. Yeah, you know where to find me.
Yeah. And then we have Deka.
Hey, this has been great. You can find me on Twitter at DekaBlazing, and you can find me on Instagram at DekaBlazeDude. There I share my art, and you can find me on YouTube at Daijin DekaBlaze.
Chelsea.
Have a good night, y'all. I feel like I need to come up with a better exit line. I'm going to come up with a catchphrase, guys. I'm going to do it.
Do it.
All right. All right, this is the debut. Get ready.
And Awesome.
All right, this has been fun. Y'all can find me on Twitter at _Mr. Awesome _. And remember, keep on morphing.
And once again, thank you so much for watching Time for Toku Podcast. We appreciate all your support, guys. Seriously, like we've grown a lot in the short time that we've been around, but I appreciate every single view and every single comment and every single like. So I've been your host, Tenarakun. If you want to find me after the podcast, you can follow me on Twitch, where I stream on the weekends, or you can follow me on Twitter, where I tweet dumb shit. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope all of you have a good night, and peace out.
Don't forget to like.